up, get up. It's time to work.
Howdy fam, Coach Julie here, and thank you for tuning in for episode 3 of Mindset Moves. Let's go. Today's episode, when you know your why, nothing can deny. And what I mean by that is when you truly understand why you are doing this, why you are going to the gym, why you are calculating your food, why you are taking yourself away from your friends and family and other obligations to devote at least an hour to yourself every day. It will become a lot easier, and it will become natural. It will become something that you understand you need to do regardless of the circumstances. Oftentimes, our motivation comes from the outside. What does my partner need? What do my kids need? What do my parents need? How do they need me to show up? So I want to lean into that. Why you can focus on yourself is because you are going to become a different person and be able to serve those people around you with a greater level of intellect, of energy, of love when you have poured into yourself. An example I want to give is when I was in college, I played basketball, and my coach knew this. She knew that I was very much motivated by not letting my teammates down. And we all had to run an 8-minute mile. And I kept missing it. I kept being short. And she's like, okay, Julie, one more chance you get. And if you don't make your 8-minute mile time, the whole team has to run it again. And that was like devastating to even think about, that my teammates would have to redo their mile because I didn't do mine in the right amount of time. I worked my butt off. I ran, I sprinted and dove over that line, and I hit my mile in 7:56. So no one had to run their mile again, which gave me great joy. So oftentimes, if you are like, I don't know why I'm doing this, you can use those outside motivators to get you to the next level. Who is your partner? Who is your parents? Who are your children? How do you want to show up for them? When you pour into yourself, you are going to be able to serve them on such a higher level. Another example. When I was younger, you'd have friends come over, and I had a friend coming over for breakfast, and I wanted just to make like the best omelet ever. And went to the store and got Black Forest ham and Gouda cheese and chopped up onions and made a delicious, wonderful omelet. But when I was alone and it was time for me to eat, I'll just crack some eggs and throw it in the pan and eat it. And then I realized, why am I spending so much time pouring into other people and not pouring into myself? And that was a really big revelation for me. I call it my omelet theory. And you've got to be willing to chop those onions and get that fresh Gouda for you, to pour into you. So when those outside factors aren't there, what are you going to do? If no one's looking and no one's depending on you, are you still going to go to the gym? Are you still going to do that extra rep? Are you still going to track your food? You will, if you truly know your why. Why are you doing this? Which brings me to my why. It is multi-layered, but basically I want to reach my full potential. And I have seen the demise of so many people around me who have not taken that time to pour into themselves. My mother last year broke her hip walking in the kitchen. My father recently just broke his foot walking into the closet. My sister cannot walk around a cul-de-sac. They are extremely unhealthy and out of shape. And they were born with disabilities, and they didn't have some freak accident. They just haven't taken care of themselves. They eat like crap. They haven't prioritized their health, prioritized movement of their body. And now they're all relatively young and in horrible, horrible condition. So witnessing that firsthand my entire life has made me not want to be anything like that. I want to be 90 years old, running marathons, lifting weights, kicking ass, and I'm going to be, because I have decided to take control of my life. I've decided to pour into me because I know it's worth it. It is worth it to take that hour a day, be selfish, go to the gym, and focus 100% on myself so that I can show up for everyone around me. I am in a committed relationship and I want to be the best person for my partner. I know we're all going to get old, but there's no rules on what happens when you get old. You can be thriving, centenarian, into your hundreds, and I plan to do that. I don't ever want to be in a position where she's having to take care of me. Now, God forbid something happens. I know she would. And I'm someone who's been a caregiver for people with disabilities for over a decade. So I know that some people truly need help, and I'm all for that. We have to help each other in this life. So that's not what I'm saying. But to get to that position through your own faults, for your own actions, is something I just simply can't allow. So my why is motivated by seeing the demise of those around me that I love at their own hands. And God willing, that will never be me. And I will do everything in my power to be the best Julie every single day. So when there are days that I do not want to go to the gym, and there are many, when there are days when I would just like to go eat a pizza and sit on the couch, I don't, because it's not worth it. Ultimately, it's not worth it. That instant gratification is not worth it. I've seen people's lives who live in instant gratification, and it is sad. That moment is fleeting. But no one can take away that muscle that I worked my ass off to get. No one can take away, the 30 pounds I've lost in my stomach. No one can take that away from me. I've put that into myself. I've earned that on my own. And everyone around me gets to benefit from my light being brighter and my energy being stronger and my ability to show up 100% to be truthful and authentic. And that's because I've poured into myself. So my why is centered around being the best me that I can possibly be, and always thinking of future Julie. That's something, the self-talk I like to dig deep into is, how can present Julie take care of future Julie? When I'm 90, it's going to be a lot harder to start my gym routine, right? But I can start it now, and by the time I get to my 90s, it's not going to be a crazy thing to hit the gym because I've been doing it for 50, 60 years. So that's my why, and I encourage you to really do some deep soul searching and figure out why, because it's going to help you on the days when you're like, nope, not going to do this. Your why has to be so strong and so solid that nothing can change your mind. So dig deep and figure that out. Some tools that I use to help me with that motivation and that why. I am not always positive. It is not always sunshine and rainbows. I have very dark and struggle days, but I still hit the gym, and I still calculate my calories and count my protein and make sure I'm on point. So I want to give you a couple people that I lean on when I need it. One would be this amazing man right here, David Goggins. This book is called Can't Hurt Me. His other book I already read is called Never Finished. Go read both of those books. If you're lost, if you don't know where to start, up from down, his story is so powerful. And my routine now is to read that before I go to the gym every day. So there's no way I can read 10 pages in that book and not be like, go to the gym. Go to the gym for an hour, Julie. Like, you've got no excuses. So David Goggins is a huge recommendation that I give. His books are an audiobook. Anyway you can consume what this man says, go do it. Someone else that I'm really into is Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is actually Tony Robbins' mentor. So I know you know who Tony Robbins is, but Tony wasn't always Tony. And Tony's story is absolutely amazing too, if you dig deep into it. But his mentor and the person that got him to be where he is was Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn has a great book on Audible. I can't think of the name of it at this moment, but it is incredible. He has many books. So go dig into some Jim Rohn. Another person just gives great perspective on how to reach your full potential and to figure out why you're doing this. Why are you committing to whatever you're committing to? And the last one that I'd like to give is a man called Alan Watts. A little bit different, a mystic, a sage, a genius in my mind. You can go on YouTube and go down Alan Watts' rabbit hole. But he just gives such a great perspective on so many things. And it's so important for us to take a step outside of ourselves. And sometimes we need that help to be able to dig deep and figure out, what is the point? What is the point of all of this? What is the point of getting in shape? What is the point? And I would argue that, this physical vessel that we live in, this meat suit, is simply a house for our spirit. So if you are, trying to raise your vibration and get into a higher frequency, to think that you can neglect your body and still get there is just foolish. They are intrinsically connected. And no matter how much meditation you do and how spiritual you believe you are, if your body is in shambles, you are not going to reach the highest state. So it's a combination of both of those things. So I encourage you to find your own teachers, your own mentors. I've given you a few of my favorite. But it's ultimately up to you. You've got to know what that why is for you, and it has to be just unbreakable and unshakable, and nothing will be able to stop you when you know why. So, as I said, this is a mindset channel more than anything. I really want to help you shift your mind, because once you do it, you become unstoppable. So I hope some of the tips I've given you have helped. Let me know your thoughts down below. But when you know your why, you cannot be denied. You can't be denied by you. You can't be denied by society. You can't be denied by those dark thoughts. When your why is so solid and so strong, you're going to show up for yourself. I always think of future Julie, and anytime I can't do it for myself in that moment, I think of future Julie, and I'm doing it for her. So figure out what's going to motivate you and what's going to be solid to stick, so you never have to question it. No decision fatigue when you wake up. You're going to the gym and you're staying on point with your food. Know your why, and nothing can deny. You got this. I believe in you.